I don't know if you're like I am. We've been out a little bit. There's a lot of dust in the air. It's really bothering my throat for some reason, more so than usual. Hope you've had a good week so far, and hope our beginning of Proverbs has been helpful. Tonight we actually cover 1 through 12. The first 9 chapters have some, quite a bit of a movement, we might say, or ideas that are connected. And then a little bit later is you'll just see the word various proverbs or sundry proverbs. A proverb is what? What's sir?
A wise.
A wise saying. Are they absolutes? No, they're general truths. And I think that's helpful. Like a soft answer turneth away wrath. The grievous words stir up anger. Every time?
No.
Not always. I've been where a soft answer didn't do it. But generally speaking, it does. And so the book of Proverbs deals with these great truths that, and who, best we know, who's the writer? Solomon. And in fact, during his life, the King's account, King's Chronicles, he wrote thousands of them. And we have several hundred here in the book of Proverbs. He writes those early chapters to whom?
You, son.
His son. And a lot of the Proverbs are more, it's almost like a father is instructing his son to do these things. And even instructions concerning women are from a male point of view to a lot of it. But verse 7 of the first chapter is very informative. The fear of the Lord is what? The beginning of knowledge, but foolish despise wisdom and instruction. Chapter 2. My son, if thou wilt receive my words and lay up my commandments, so as to incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thy heart, yea, if thou cry after discernment, then, verse 5, thou shalt understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. The fear of the Lord, the beginning of wisdom, all of those things are emphasized in these early chapters. My son, chapter 2, verse 1. Look at chapter 3, verse 1. My son, forget not my law. Verses 5 and 6 of chapter 3, a lot of us have committed to memory because of the great truth the great truths that are in these verses. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and don't lean on our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge the Lord, and what? He will direct our paths. And he does that through our appreciation and our reliance on his word. Verse 11 of chapter 3. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his reproof. For whom the Lord loves, he reproves, even as a father the son in whom he delights. Does that have a New Testament? Yes. Where is it? Hebrews 12. That's right. And then in the context there, he was talking about you've not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Any comments or questions? Maybe a passage that caused you to think and help you in chapter 3? Patty? Something that comes out to you?
You got one that I would have said 5 and 6.
5 and 6, right. Look at verse 31. Envy thou not the man of violence, and choose none of his ways, for the perverse is an abomination. In gang activity, oftentimes young people don't have good role models, and they look to the wrong place. Don't envy the person of violence. That's not going to help us. So much wisdom is given in these. Verse 7 of chapter 4. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore what? Get wisdom. Yea, with all thy getting, get understanding. Let's see. Verse 23 of chapter 4. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the what? The issues of life. Do you have another translation
about
about
the springs of life?
Yes, the well springs of life. Keep your heart, because Jesus said in Mark 7, for out of the heart come evil thoughts, adulteries, murders, and so on. So really our heart, our heart is what we what? What we think about. Some have said the Bible heart is a seat of emotion, but it's our thought, what we think about, what we mull over, what our desires are, what we long for, our desires, our will, our knowledge, what we mull over, all those things happening with the heart. Man believes unto righteousness, Romans 10. So anyway, it just tells us we need to keep our heart clean. Chapter 5 begins a series of warnings about young men and who? And adulteress, exactly right. Verse 7, now therefore my sons, hearken unto me, and depart not from my words. Remove thy way far from her. Come not nigh the door of her house, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and years unto cruel, and so on. And he says toward the end of the 5th chapter that we are to rejoice in the wife of our youth. Verse 18, rejoice let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of thy youth. The 6th chapter, warnings against various things, taking surety for others, and don't sign on a loan with somebody that be real cautious about that. Who is given as a type of a good example against sloth, verse 6. The ant. Yeah, the ant. I know Lee and I talked about verse 10, have some, 9 and 10. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard, when thou shalt arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, so shall thy poverty. In other words, people who just basically are what? Lazy. They just, they just don't want to be bothered and get out and get to work. Worthless people. Verse 20 of chapter 6. My son, keep the commandment of thy father, forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thy heart. Down toward the end of 6, there is more information relative to a young man and